So over the last couple of years, I did a fair amount of online shopping. So I collected 8 tips that are really helpful. So we start with the smaller tips and then continue with the bigger ones. So let's go. First tip. I know this one seems a little bit obvious, but it is thrifting. Thrifting in person actually seems to be a lot of work because you really have to dive through so many clothes and check if it's in your size. Well, as thrifting doing online, it's quite easy. You actually say which size you want, and you can also filter the brands you want to see. So I think online thrifting is actually a good option for everyone, for the one who sells it, for the one who buys it, and also for the environment. So I think it's a win-win for everybody. Also, not forget to mention that when you buy things secondhand, they're just so much cheaper. I give you an example. Last year I was shopping and went to a guest store, and there I found this really beautiful dress, but that was 175 euros, and that was just too expensive for me. So I decided to not get it. Then a few months later in fall, I started thrifting a little bit, and guess what I found? The same exact dress in my size. I know I got lucky, but this is just a really good example of how things can work. Not just that, but also if things are sold out on the original website, you can also find them again on the thrifted online store. For example, I wanted to get this Jaded London pair of pants, but they've sold out I think nearly a year ago. But guess what I found in my size for even cheaper, and that was such a bargain again. That just shows how great online thrifting is, and I just really highly recommend that. If you need company names, I think Poshmark is quite popular in America. Then we have Vinted, which is quite popular in Europe. And then I think eBay is also a general option as well. So what I always like to recommend in the beginning is really check the size chart, okay? This is such an important tip. A lot of times if you order things and they don't quite fit, you have to send so much stuff back. There are just so many different variations of a size S or a size XS or a size M that if you buy the things from different online shops, the size could be completely off because they could have a totally different reference. The best will be to measure specific parts of your body, write it down, and then once you see a size chart, you can check where you actually fit in. Believe me, it's really essential and makes a big difference. The next tip is for people who forget a lot of times to check on things.
Like me.
And really a lot of stores already offer that service, but I don't think people use it that much. It's basically the price alarms that you can set on online stores. They can actually be really essential, and I know that I didn't really use them in the beginning because I thought it's going to take forever until they respond to me. Maybe it will take a year and then I don't want it anymore. But in reality, I think it's actually quite different. I usually got responses quite quickly, like 1 or 2 weeks, and then they already informed me, hey, the item is back in stock. So that was really cool. So I think a lot of people underrate this option that you can actually enter your email and then you get notified. But I did it multiple times and it helped me a lot. Okay, the next tip is for people who actually like to shop a lot on Etsy. You know, a lot of handmade, self-crafted, artsy stuff. It's a really nice website. And this tip actually worked every single time I tried it. So if you see something on Etsy that you really like and you want to buy it, okay, stop. Don't buy it, just put it in the cart, okay? Don't do anything else and then just wait. The people who sell stuff on Etsy actually can see that you put something from them in their cart. And then they have the option to offer you a discount code, for example, like 5, 10, 15, or even 20% off. Soon after like 1 or 2 days, they were like, okay, here you can have 10% off. It lasts for 1 week. I was really fascinated by it, so now I do this every time I buy something on Etsy. So depending on how much money you spend there, you can always get at least like 5 or 10% off quite easily. Just wait like 1 or 2 days and then buy it. This might be good for people with a lot of email addresses such as me. And if you maybe also not shop too often on a specific online store, it's basically about the first order that you're doing, because a lot of stores offer something specific for the first order you're doing. Either 10 or 15% off, free returns, anything. So I know this might not be for everyone, but to me, I actually did it a couple of times. And websites usually do it if it's your first order or if you just subscribe to the newsletter. Then usually the first part of the newsletter you get is like a 10 or 50% off coupon. And I do really like to do that, especially if you buy something that is more expensive, because then 10% can get to quite a lot of money as well. So be sure to always check if there's something on your first order or your first newsletter that you can use to actually save you some money. Now the next tip, which is basically something I do every year, and it can get you so many discounts. It's when you shop outside of the season. It seems quite obvious, but still I don't really think that many people do it, but I think I put it sometimes to the extreme. This just not includes the 4 seasons: spring, summer, winter, and fall, but also seasons like Halloween, Valentine's Day, Easter, Christmas. You just get stuff so much cheaper if it's after the season, because obviously they kind of want to get rid of it until there is the next season coming. you get so high discounts on the items. I think I once put it to the extreme when I did this Halloween haul and actually bought the Halloween items 1 year prior. I think 1 or 2 weeks after Halloween was over, I actually bought the stuff. So currently it's getting quite hot, so bikinis are, for example, really expensive, but big puffy winter jackets, a lot of them are on sale. Now the next tip, which is one of my favorites. I love this one because it helped me so many times finding things that I thought are not available anymore anywhere on the internet. It's actually the usage of Google search, but the Google image search. So let me pick you up. I was looking for a Christmas birthday gift and I knew from the person that this one was exactly the item he wanted to have, but he couldn't get it anymore because it was sold out. But then I came across the Google image search. I just took that image, pasted it in there, and then they gave me all the results where this picture was available. Also, many times they already added that this was a website you can shop on. They added the price. So I now had many more options to buy this item. Also, if you're shopping on online stores and you're not really sure if that's actually an item that they produce, you can take this image, put it in Google search, and then see where else this kind of pops up. This also kind of helps you try to find where they're selling scam stuff and where the original item might came from. Because on all the other images, they actually try to remove the watermarks, but they kind of make it a little bit blurry. So you could kind of see that they're trying to scam you. So be sure to check that. And now the last and biggest tip, which is about shopping helper browser extensions. Let's call it like that. These are basically browser extensions that help you shop easier on websites. Not just that, but they're also like a huge wish list you have on all the shops that are available. They help you with price alerts, notify you if things are back in stock, also analyze the prices from the items you put into your wish list. This is especially good in like times of Cyber Monday, Black Friday, because they're always trying to tell you you're making a big sale, but actually you kind of pay more than previously. And you can really see that on the price analysis here. They're just so great, and I know there are multiple of them. I also have multiple installed because they're just so useful. So my personal favorite is actually Karma. I really like it. I use it since years. It's a giant wish list I have all over the websites. I can add price alarms, I can add groups. They suggest you coupons on your checkout. It's actually a really great tool. I got so much use out of it already. Not sponsored, by the way, it's just a really great tool. You can also have it as app on your phone, but I don't think the usage here is as good as on a computer. So I prefer to use the browser extension. And I not just have Karma, I also have Coupert, which is quite cool because it also suggests you a lot of coupons that you can use on your checkout. And I'm sure if you Google it a little bit, there are even more that you can find. But my personal favorite is just Karma. It's a great one. Great for organizing, for informing you, for giving you the price development. It's really interesting. And the coupons also help you to save you quite some money. It's really great. So these were all my tips I wanted to share with you. But if you have some, please let me know them in the comments. And then as usual, be sure to keep watching.